The next speaker today is David Mezuman. He's the co-founder and CEO at Duve. Now, Duve is an end-to-end guest management system helping hoteliers digitalize their guest experience, provide upsell services, and personalize their communications with guests. I'll let David jump in here and introduce himself some more. There he is.
Hi everyone.
Welcome. The digital floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me share my screen. So, hi everyone, I'm David. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Duve. Duve, like you mentioned, is a guest experience platform to manage the entire guest journey for hospitality professionals. So today I'm going to talk to you shortly about guest interface technologies that are out there, mainly about Duve, about what we do here, why do we do it, and opportunities that you can have using these advanced tools. So a bit more about myself. I'm one of the co-founders here. I come with a background of tech companies and also hospitality. For the last 13 years, I own a hospitality company in Tel Aviv, manage properties for travelers. And approximately 6 years ago, I connected both of my expertise, hospitality and tech, and decided now it's the time to bring the innovative to the needs that I saw from my background. An end-to-end guest management platform, this is what we do. We manage the entire guest journey for our customers from the moment the guest booked their stay until post-checkout, everything in between, everything that has guest interface, our platform manage. We are now live in more than 60 countries worldwide, most of them in Europe. We have more than 100 live integrations to property management systems like Oracle, Opera Hotel, Cloudbeds, Muse, and also payment processor tools and activities, everything that is needed for an end-to-end guest experience platform. So let's talk about the need. Let's talk about what we have today and what we experience, that the digital guest experience for our customers and for ourselves was still very old-fashioned. The hospitality used to be a more traditional industry that we can see that the check-in process and the communication with the guests didn't really evolve and change dramatically in the past, I would even say 30 years. And we all experienced that, either from the hotel or from the hotelier side or from the guest point of view, with the need of the long queues of the check-ins in the peak hours, managing the keys, connecting the front desk, letting know about connecting for the in-house services, and really everything that could be automative but still manual processes. We thought that this is something that needs, in the today technology, need to be taken care of in a way that can structure the perfect guest experience for your every guest. So this is the reasons why we started Duve and what Duve is doing right now. Another thing is that we saw that the need is for one platform that manages the entire guest journey. Okay, it deals the automation, the communication, the upsells with the hotel branding, because all of those different elements are connected to one another. The automation is connected to the communication with personalized messaging. The upsells is connecting to all the different parts, because the best upsells for guests is to offer the right solution to the right guest at the right time. For example, when the guest is doing an online check-in 3 days, even a week before his arrival, And doing this online check-in then is the right time to offer maybe once a room upgrade based on your availability, maybe once an early check-in or transportation from the airport to take him directly to your hotel. And you need to have all those different parts really streamlined, that it makes sense to the guest and it leaves him with one enhanced experience. Another thing is that even though that all of the hotels are doing pretty much the same part of the guest journey, they're all doing it a bit differently. If we're looking about how the check-in or how the guest journey looks like in a high-end retreat or a boutique hotel in the city or even a hostel, they have different ways to communicate and talk to the guest. So it needs to be a system that is completely customizable, because you want to add your own secret sauce to the way that you connect and communicate to your guest, even if you use a platform that all the different parts of the main parts of the guest experience platform for the modern hotel. It's really connected to what we are trying to do and what I was talking about before about the need for a guest experience platform. And the thing is that what we are seeing that it's not in the far future. It's already here. It's already being implemented in tens of thousands of hotel rooms, hundreds of hotels, that they're already implementing the future of hospitality. They're already implementing the self-check-in, the e-commerce, the next step communication to different profile. We are already doing that. And in most of the things, you don't even need an AI innovative solution. You just need that every hotel can customize exactly the way that they want to duplicate their best receptionist or the best general manager, that every guest will have the same great experience. So I saw there was a question about the online check-in, about how does it work? What's in online check-in? Online check-in is all the bureaucracy that today you have on the front desk when guests arrive. It could be collecting his details, paying for his stay. The system needs to connect to the hotel's point of sale, signing the registration card of the guest, scanning documents, scanning passport, collecting everything that is regularly with the local regulation. And on top of that, bringing more value to the guest. It's not only the bureaucracy, but it's also when he tells you when he's arriving to your location, maybe it's relevant to offer the early check-in, room upgrade, maybe the taxi from Charles de Gaulle, where he's just said to you that he's landing. Everything in an online process. That today we have over 72% of completion rate of the online check-in. We send it by email, SMS, or WhatsApp. We send smart reminders, and it works like magic. Another thing that I want to really touch is about the e-com, is about the unified inbox. Today, some hotels or some of our customers, they didn't want us to implement the smart unified inbox solution. They say they don't have the manpower because of the COVID-19 to answer another channel of communication. But after we convinced them to try it, and they saw that they can do automatic messaging or smart broadcasting, and just to also answer to their guests, they can do 5 conversations at the same time when they compare it to one phone call. So they're actually much more efficient. The guests love that they can communicate in their own channels. And another thing is that they can do a lot more. It's much easier when someone asks you a question to send them a link to the parking information or the spa information inside your own guest app, which is a web app that they don't need to download, where they have all the information. And they have all the information in their own language because the system speaks 15 languages. So we reduce the friction, we reduce the noise of the guests, and we let the hotels be more efficient and the guests have a better experience. What else do we have here in that started to talk about the holistic, the modern hotel solution? Also, Simon talked about it a bit, the mobile key. Okay, today everyone is standing in the queue just to fill in the details and collect the keys to the rooms. We already implement integrations to the hotel's key systems like Asa Abloy, Dormakaba, Salto, which the system can send and generate live and with a lot more flexibility in order to connect and give to the guest a better experience. This way, when the guests come to you, so also the human touch, you can have the human touch with the guests, but not about the bureaucracy, not about spending the time about filling the forms, but about talking to the guest, asking how was their arrival, telling him about in person about the environment where they are, giving them a better experience, and maybe even offer some of the more services that you offer. Some other solutions is connecting to the local services that either you offer, like the spa, food and beverages, and the services that they can find in the hotel, but also the services that they can find around the hotel. So we have our own marketplace, or we let every hotel onboard their own supplier that they can bring more activities, they can bring more value to the guest in a very efficient way inside the guest experience, inside their guest app, inside and personalized to them. That means they can send a message or they can upsell for a family that has kids inside the reservation a different service than someone that comes for a business traveler, or for a couple they can offer a romantic package. It's very flexible, it's very smart, and you just need to set it up once. Okay, that's the magic, that you do it once, the perfect experience, everything that you want to offer, and it's there. Another last thing that I will touch from here is the digital spots that we just released a few months ago. This is the last piece that we want to connect the offline to online. That means that even if someone did not do the online check-in, the remaining 28% that did not fill it before and now they're standing in the queue, you can have a banner inviting them to do online check-in by scanning this QR, and it takes them directly to their online check-in process. You can have the menus inside the rooms. If you want to contact the front desk, any question that they have, if they want information of the spa services that you offer, you can have, again, want to learn more, and a very nice designed QR that takes them to their personal guest app. Very efficient, really reduce the friction, and super easy to implement as part of that guest journey. Okay, so if we're talking about another nice research for McKinsey, is they released last year in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis that the next normal, the next recovery will be a digital one. Okay, so everyone is talking about digital transformation for all the different verticals in the world, and of course also the hospitality that is talking about digital transformation. And what we're experiencing in the last 6 months, that it's not the next normal, it's the current normal. So I want to share with you our 2 case studies that we did with the hotels that we implemented our solutions during this year. The Satai, it's part of a 14 hotel chain, a very high-end retreat that they came for the solution of the online check-in, and they weren't sure, they didn't know exactly how the implementation would work. In 2 weeks, everything was in place, and by the next day, we got to more than 70% of their guests completing the online check-in before arrival. And they used to have, in the peak hours, they used to have queue, could be 20, 30 minutes about guests waiting in line, and it completely eliminates that because we eliminate all the bureaucracy.
Maybe I'll just give you one more minute to wrap up.
Sure. Another one that is relevant, the Brown hotels, they have 25 hotels all across Europe. They can also for the automotive solution, but also for the upsells. And for them, we did the onboarding after they sell. They have they have a theme hotels in the city. Some for romantic, for couples, some for families. So in every hotel, they have the relevant upsells like date box that they started to sell through us for couples that are coming, or some very cool guided tours that they offer. And we got over 20% conversion by sending the offering to the guest through WhatsApp a day before the service. So to wrap it up, we see it as the future. In 4 years, in 3 years, in 2 years, all the modern hotels, they would adopt a modern digital guest experience platform for the communication, for the automation, for the upsells, for the digital keys. I invite you to have someone inside your organization to explore what there's out there in the market, because the things that they will discover now are completely different from what there was there 4 or 5 years ago. And it could really be a game changer and can take your hotel to the next step of the future of hospitality. You can visit our website or contact us for any more information. And we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Brilliant. Thanks, David. I do have one question here from the audience, which is actually a great question, because this is also one of the questions that I would probably have is for online check-in. How do the receptionists or whoever's taking it, how do they know that they're not being sent fake documents like passports and things like this? How can they verify that that's actually a real document?
Okay, so that's a great question. It's important to understand that we are connected, first of all, to the PMSs. We have a two-way integration to almost all of them, Opera, Oracle, Cloud-based. So we push all the information back to the PMS. Okay, that's first of all. So they receive there all the information that the guest filled inside the online check-in process, and they get it a couple of days before the arrival. Okay, so they have the time before the peak hours to go over the passport or whatever the guest scan. They can go over if the payment went through. They can see if there were any special requests. And if there is something that is missing, with one click, they send a new request from a canned response for the guest, letting them know that maybe the scan wasn't filled like it was. Maybe the information is not clear, asking them to rescan. But it's very rarely, I must say, that the guests, they know that they need to scan, and they know that without that, they won't be able to check in. So they understand the value and they're used to it. So this is why the completion rates are very high. And we also give them flexibility. If they don't have the documents when they fill the online check-in, they can do remind me later, and then they complete the online check-in, all the rest of the details, and the system sends them smart reminders afterwards to complete the steps that they skipped.
That's fantastic. Technology at its best, and it's just getting better and better. David, thank you so much. Sorry about the little hiccup there where we lost you, but we managed to get through it. So I appreciate you jumping back in here. But again, thank you very much for your time, David. Really appreciate it. It's awesome, the stuff that you guys are doing at Duve.
Thank you very much. I was very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us.